My wife vanished 10 years ago. A medium gave me some advice. First, find an old abandoned house. Then, take a bowl and a pair of chopsticks. Around midnight, place the bowl upside down on the ground and gently tap it with the chopsticks. When you hear a dripping sound behind you, turn around quickly, and you'll see them. Folks, this story is too dark. Please watch with a brave child. Meow Meow kindly reminds you to turn on your Wi-Fi. Alright. The story begins. I tried the medium's method, but it was useless. All I got were sore knees and bug bites all over my legs. Nothing appeared. I kicked the broken bowl far away and lay back in my car seat, lighting a cigarette and inhaling deeply. I pulled out a photo from my wallet. The 3 people in it were smiling brightly. On the left was me. On the right was Greg. And in the middle, making a funny face, was Selena. Greg and I met in college and instantly clicked. We were inseparable. Like brothers. Soon, through his social circle, I met Selena. She was elegant, optimistic, and had a sweet smile. It was love at first sight. With Greg's help, I successfully pursued Selena. From then on, the 3 of us traveled everywhere, living carefree lives. After college, we all went our separate ways. Many close friends became distant, never to meet again. But the chains of fate bound us ever tighter. I inherited my parents' company, and Selena naturally became my wife. Greg went into business for himself, becoming my partner in the corporate world. 10 years flew by. Those years, every moment, shone like gold. I closed my eyes, and memories flooded my mind. Greg and I advanced and retreated together, sharing hardships in the business world. Our careers soared, and the company grew larger and larger. Selena was gentle and virtuous, managing our home flawlessly. After my father passed away, she kept the house in perfect order. We even had a lovely daughter, who was healthy and smart with beautiful large eyes. In our leisure time, we would go out, drink, and laugh freely like children. I always thought we would continue like this, intimately. But an accident changed everyone's destiny. If I had one more chance, I would never have taken them on that boat. A year ago, one afternoon, the 3 of us agreed to go fishing at the reservoir. There's a boat over there. How about it? Want to try? I put down my fishing rod and turned to Greg, who was diligently setting up Selena's tent behind me. It's been years since I've rowed a boat. Hasn't it? Greg clapped his hands, eager to try. Forget it, Selena advised. You can't even swim. And that boat looks dilapidated. What if something happens? It's fine, I said. Don't we have life jackets? I walked to the boat, picked up a few red jackets from the bottom, and waved to them. Let's go. Let's paddle our oars. As expected, the boat capsized in the middle of the lake. I clung to my life jacket, desperately kicking my way to the shore. When I looked back, both of them were gone. Selena, Greg. I screamed their names repeatedly until my voice was hoarse. The lake was quiet, completely still. By the time the rescue team arrived, it was too late. Greg was submerged, lifeless. As for Selena, even today, I haven't found her body. In just a few minutes, I lost my beloved wife and my best friend. And it was all my fault. I stood by the lake, crying out to the sky. Behind me stood Greg's parents, equally heartbroken, seeing their gray hair and swollen eyes. I knelt, slapping myself repeatedly. They didn't blame me or ask for any compensation. They didn't even scold me once, which tormented me even more. I stubbornly took over the funeral arrangements. The best medium, the most elaborate wreaths and flower baskets, and the most expensive plot in the cemetery. Afterward, I visited them repeatedly until I finally brought the two elderly people to live with me. After settling Greg's parents, my guilt eased slightly. But there was something even more important to do. According to the customs of Lockhaven, if a person who drowned cannot be found, their soul will be trapped in a watery prison, wandering the human world, unable to find peace. To find my wife's body, I tried everything. I hired professional diving teams who searched the lake floor repeatedly. I also found body retrieval specialists from the river, with dozens of small boats dragging nets over and over. Finally, I even used my connections to bring in experts from the Academy of Sciences to help with sonar and submersibles. Unfortunately, in the end, I found nothing. The path of science had reached a dead end. Desperate, I clung to a final straw, seeking help from the divine. An old man told me that to find her, I could only rely on herself. On herself? Yes. You need to find her soul. The old man nodded. For over a year, I tried all sorts of soul-calling methods, chanting spells, carrying a red umbrella in the rain, jumping like a zombie, talking to cats in the middle of the night. No matter how bizarre, absurd, or unbelievable it sounded, if there was even a shred of possibility, I tried it without hesitation. However, only disappointment answered me. Everyone advised me to let go, to forgive myself and start anew. Let go? How is that possible? I roared at them fiercely. She's my wife. Whether alive or dead, we must be together. Anyone who dares to stop me will face one outcome. I threw a glass onto the floor. And then no one said a word. A few days ago, I heard a rumor about a haunted house north of Lockhaven. It was said to be very effective for ghosts. I staked it out for several nights, using many methods. But all I attracted were mosquitoes. During this time, my mother called me many times, tirelessly trying to console me about the troubles at home. The dead cannot be revived. How can you find a soul? It's been so long. You've done so well. Come back. My mother, who used to be very religious, had become a staunch materialist, reasoning with me repeatedly. Greg's parents are doing well here. And Lily misses you very much. Come back. I know, I said. Oh. Why won't you listen? What do you want me to do? She said, about to cry again. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. It's getting late. Get some rest. Okay? There's something else. Honey. My mother hesitated for a few seconds. Lily finished those medicines you brought back before. Today, I went to the pharmacy to buy more. But they said it was a prescription drug and wouldn't sell it. They also said that taking too much could affect her development and cause premature puberty. See? Didn't I tell you? I clutched the phone. Instantly annoyed. If she finishes it. Just get more from Dr. Johnson at the hospital. Yes. The one who just transferred here. The one with glasses you met last time. I'm afraid of bothering him too often. And Lily is always so sleepy after taking them. Mom just means well. All right. All right. Don't worry about it so much. Just do what I say. I hung up the phone and tossed it aside. Looking at the dark sky, I reached out, trying to catch a star. Just as I got close, it winked and disappeared into the vast ocean. Wife. Are we never going to meet again in this life? As I was thinking, the phone suddenly rang again. I answered, listened for a few moments, and immediately started the car, driving onto the road. A friend I'd known for a few days had introduced me to a master. He said this person had real abilities. He could fly, conjure snakes from empty basins, observe yin and yang, and capture and expel ghosts. It was several hours' drive to the master's meditation center. I didn't dare rest, driving through the night. The sooner I arrived, the sooner my wife could return to my side. As the sun was just rising, I finally reached my destination. The master and my friend were already waiting for me. Mr. Nelson. It's an honor. They enthusiastically extended their hands to me. I had no time for pleasantries and cut straight to the chase. How much? The master was startled and exchanged glances with my friend. He held up one finger. Let's begin. Under the master's guidance, I bathed, changed into a monk's robe, and sat cross-legged on a prayer mat. Incense smoke swirled around, and bells chimed. The master rang a small bell, leading a group of young novices in chanting and prayers around me. Dong. 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 They circled me for half an hour. The master picked up a whisk and swept it over my head 3 times. Then shouted, "The ritual is complete. Patron. When you return, transcribe this scripture once a day. Remember, when transcribing, you must be sincere and calm. And you must not make a single mistake. Otherwise, you will leak heavenly secrets, and all your efforts will be in vain. After 419 days, she will naturally come." Okay. I nodded, putting the scripture into my bag. Just as I was about to leave the temple gate, I turned back and asked, Master, when you performed the ritual, did you see my wife? Of course, he said. She was with you the whole time. As soon as the ritual ended, she vanished. Then, Master, can you tell me if my wife's remains are still in the lake? This is a small offering. Please accept it. I pulled out a stack of cash from my bag and slipped it into his hand. All right. The master closed his eyes and mumbled, as if conversing with someone. She just replied, "The body is still in the lake." Thank you, Master, I said, smiling and nodding. As soon as I left the temple gate and arrived at the market, I pulled the stack of scriptures from my bag and tossed them into a trash can. Damn it. Another. After a morning of effort, I was still empty-handed. Disappointment and fatigue flooded my mind, and my stomach began to ache. I found a diner, ordered a few dishes casually, and before they were even served, I collapsed onto the table and fell asleep. In my semi-sleep, I had a dream. In the dream, Greg, Selena, Lily, and I were walking down a road. The three of them were ahead, laughing and chatting, and I was following behind. Suddenly, someone pulled my arm. I turned and saw it was Dr. Johnson. I was about to say something to him and invite him to walk with us. But Dr. Johnson vanished with a whoosh. When I looked back, the three had already walked far away. I desperately chased them but couldn't catch up. So I could only watch them disappear into the distance. "Come back!" I shouted, instantly waking up. The food had arrived, and its enticing aroma filled the air. But I had no appetite. I quickly ate a few bites and was about to leave when a shabbily dressed man blocked my way. "Patron, you haven't touched this food. Wouldn't it be a shame to throw it away? This poor monk has been walking all morning and his stomach is rumbling. Could I just have some?" "Hey, patron. I've eaten your food today. And I've received your kindness. There's giving. And there's receiving. Let me help you." I continued to walk out. But the man shouted, "Help? What help do you want from me? If the patron didn't need help, why would you climb mountains to find that fake monk? Help me?" I looked at his tattered clothes. His whole body dirty and smelling. I sneered. "With you? Ha ha ha. Patron. Haven't you heard that there's always a capable person within 3 steps? Anyway. Patron. You're running around like a headless fly. Why not give it a try?" "All right," I said, sitting down. "How will you help me?" He stroked his beard and smiled slightly, reading my face. Half an hour later, I was on the freeway, rushing towards Lockhaven General Hospital. Huh. Another charlatan. He had babbled on for half an hour. Nothing but platitudes. Things like appearance reflects the heart. Killing breeds demons. Let go of hatred. Everything will naturally resolve. Since the day I started looking for her, I'd met too many people like him. Pretending to be mystics. Spouting endless moral platitudes. What letting go? What releasing the past, bullshit. I only wanted results. I only wanted my wife. Before, I would have cursed them out and had my men teach them a lesson. But now, countless repetitions had worn away my patience. I couldn't be bothered to argue with them. What was a few dollars? After all? I glanced at the small incense sachet in my bag. I had wanted to throw it away. But the man had been grinning and following me, mumbling incessantly. "Heh heh. Take it with you. Take it. And you'll see your wife." "I know," I replied coldly, rolling up the car window. He was still chasing after me, shouting, "Hey! Remember! Only 3 chances." 3. My original plan included visiting several other places. But I had an appointment with Dr. Johnson for treatment today. So I had to put them off. When I arrived at the hospital, the receptionist nurse and even the doctor had been fired after my threats. The new nurse was a bit awkward, taking a long time to check my ID before leading me up the VIP elevator to the treatment room. "How are things?" "Still very depleted. All your internal organs are damaged. It'll take a while to recover," Dr. Johnson said, shaking his head as he held the report. Then he added encouragingly, "But it's much better than a year ago." Isn't there a faster way? I've already told you. Your body has been slowly depleting. And now it can only be replenished slowly. Chinese medicine emphasizes balancing yin and yang. Remember to take the prescribed herbs and avoid certain foods. Okay. I know. Watching him take out silver needles one by one from his toolbox. I skillfully took off my shirt and lay on the bed. It'll hurt a bit. Bear with it. It's fine. I'm used to it. Since my wife and Greg passed, my body had also deteriorated. I had to take large amounts of Chinese medicine every day and undergo regular acupuncture. The silver needles pierced my skin one by one, causing an itching sensation like insects crawling. For me, such pain had long become commonplace. In fact, it was only at these times that I could truly relax and genuinely fall asleep. Huh. I exhaled a contented sigh, lying on the bed, and fell into a sweet sleep. In my dream, I saw my wife and Greg again. The three of us stood by the lake. Greg said nothing, walking step by step towards the center of the lake. The tide surged, surrounding and engulfing him, finally returning to calm. My wife stood before me, just a foot away. She watched Greg sink into the water and then turned as if to leave. I rushed towards her, but an invisible wall blocked me, pushing me back. With a roar, huge waves and surging river water slammed her against the wooden wall. I watched her struggle desperately before my eyes, beating against the wall, sealed yet awakening. Over and over again. We'd been together for so many years. I clung to the wooden wall, gritting my teeth, tears already streaming down my face. Why? Why are you so cruel to me? I roared at her. She didn't speak, just glanced behind her, and slowly sank. Dreaming again? Dr. Johnson patted my face and handed me a towel. Are you all right? I'm fine, I said, sitting on the edge of the bed, breathing heavily. The hormone medication you wanted. I got the imported kind, he said. Thanks, I replied, drinking half a bottle of mineral water. Have you revised the dietary plan I gave you before? It's a bit difficult. Is it difficult? Or do you not want to? I stared straight at him. I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner, but I studied to save lives. You're asking me to. How about we just forget about it? I took the cigarette he offered. Took a deep drag. Dr. Johnson also lit a cigarette and sat beside me, advising. Let go. Don't worry about yourself. I shook my head. You know why better than I do. Dr. Johnson was silent for a moment, until the cigarette was almost burned out. Then he slowly spoke. The medicine has side effects. Too much is not good. I know, I said, getting up to open the drawer myself. He moved to stop me again. Let it go. Give it to me. Half an hour later, I carried that bag of medicine back to the house I didn't want to return to. The house was cold and quiet. Besides 3 elderly people, a child, and 2 housekeepers, there was no sign of life. My mother was very happy to see me back, constantly telling the housekeeper to prepare dinner. But I had no appetite. I handed her the medicine and went upstairs to see Lily. I pushed open the door. She was sleeping soundly. The medicine had a significant effect. Previously, She was still a child of just over 10. But now she had almost grown into an adult. I sat by the bed, gently stroking her forehead, pushing back her bangs, and gazing at her face. It was just like Selena's. Truly carved from the same mold. Why hadn't I noticed before? I pulled out the photo from my pocket, looking at my wife and Greg in it, laughing loudly. But tears streamed down my face. Dad. What's wrong? Hearing my voice, she slightly opened her eyes and asked groggily. Nothing, I said. Go back to sleep. I closed the door and turned to walk towards the basement. After my wife died, all her belongings were piled here. I turned on the light and walked through a pile of clutter. Clothes, handbags, rings, necklaces, jewelry, once precious items, were now scattered on the floor. I walked to the very end and sat down in front of a large cabinet covered with a red cloth. The things around me recorded every bit of the past, narrating my love for her. Every time I returned disappointed, I would come here and talk to myself for a while. How I wished everything could start over. I picked up a drawing. It was drawn by our daughter, depicting one of our outings. A happy family of 3. We were so happy then. Why did it turn out like this? Was it all my fault? While I was agonizing, my phone rang. Mr. Nelson. The medium you were looking for has been found. Also, there's a pair of boatmen who say they're very good at finding people. They've retrieved many bodies. Should I call them over? Where's the medium? He said he can perform soul calling directly by the lake. Do you want me to call the boatman to come with him and see? Tell the boatman to go back and get the medium ready. I'll be right there. Okay. I stood up, tearing the drawing into pieces. I glanced around and headed for the escalator. When I arrived, everything was ready: a high platform, incense, candles, brass bells, and prayer flags fluttering. I stood by the shore, a red string tied around my hand, watching them tie the other end to a brass bell and throw it into the water. Chanting, bells, wooden fish, gongs, and drums, a cacophony of sounds. I held up my hand, looking at the pristine lake surface, calling my wife's name repeatedly, my expression already numb. The medium continued for an entire morning. The medium said that too much time had passed, making soul calling difficult, and they would need another session in the afternoon. During the lunch break, I watched them chew on chicken drumsticks and boxed lunches. One of them had his wig tilted, clearly revealing his black hair underneath. What am I doing? I lay in the car, pouring a bottle of ice water over myself. What have I been doing for the past year? Rushing around, spending recklessly. For what? Maybe I really should listen to them. Let myself go. Forget it. This result is enough. Yes. It's enough. Let myself go. Move forward. Thinking this, it was as if a lump of mud had been washed away by water. The knots in my heart vanished. I breathed a long sigh of relief, covered my face with a towel, and fell into a deep sleep. But as soon as I slept, the dreams came back. It was still by the lake, but only my wife and I remained. She stood in the water, looking at me, then suddenly fled in terror. I chased after her, my feet treading on the water as if on solid ground. She ran, And the terrified expression on her face instantly filled me with anger. I'm your husband. Why are you running? Where are you trying to run to? Come back. Mr. Nelson. You're awake? The monk beside me, seeing me get out of the car in a rage, immediately came over. We'll continue this afternoon. Haha. Everyone. Let's put in more effort. We must help Mr. Nelson fulfill his wish today. I looked at these fat, foolish pigs, feeling even more annoyed. But then I suddenly noticed something was wrong. Before this, no matter what method I used, even hypnosis, I had never dreamed of my wife. Yet, in this short day, I had seen her twice. Why? Remember. Only 3 chances. 3. The Taoist's cry echoed in my ears again. It's him. I clutched the incense sachet in my hand. Only 1 chance left. I have to find him. Hey. Mr. Nelson. Where are you going? I ignored my assistant's chase. And the car wheels rolled forward. On the way, a heavy rainstorm arrived unexpectedly. The sky and earth were pouring. The wipers were at maximum speed. But I still couldn't see the road ahead. The navigation system was already blaring warnings. Current road conditions are slippery. Please slow down. You are speeding. Please slow down. Faster. Faster. I pressed the accelerator to the floor. The wiper swept across the glass. And in that brief instant, I saw the cliff ahead. The wheels left the ground. With a loud bang, the world quickly grew quiet. Ugh. Another dream. By the lake, the sun shone brightly, and birds sang sweetly. My wife stood on the shore, and I stood in the water. A large dark cloud drifted from the distant mountains, and thunder rumbled. You finally agreed to see me. I watched the lake water slowly climb up my feet. Then I suddenly raised my hands with a sense of relief. Are you satisfied now? Isn't this what you've always wanted? She looked at me. Her eyes filled with tears. Haha. Don't cry. Why are you crying? Oh. Right. You're not crying. I should be crying for her. Shouldn't I? I pulled out the photo from my pocket and slammed it into the water. She's your husband. She's your lover. Am I wrong? If it weren't for Dr. Johnson, I would have been dead by now. A year ago. In the hospital treatment room. Hello. I'm Dr. Johnson, the new doctor. Are you holding our VIP client's physical examination report? Yes. Why? Let me help you with it. No need to bother. Oh. It's no trouble. Among that pile of reports, Dr. Johnson accidentally discovered my medical report. Out of curiosity, he secretly pulled it out and quickly found an abnormality. Although it wasn't visible on the surface, various data showed that my body was rapidly decaying. He cross-referenced my past medical records and examination reports and found that I had not suffered from any major illnesses. My physical abnormalities had only started showing signs 2 years prior. With questions, he pulled up our entire family's medical reports. Upon comparison, he soon discovered an even more astonishing secret. My blood type was AB. Selena's blood type was A. And Lily's blood type was O. From a genetic perspective, if one parent is A or B blood type, It is absolutely impossible to have an O blood type child. This could only mean one thing: Lily was not my child at all. Dr. Johnson quickly informed me of this. I was full of doubts, but still couldn't believe it. So I found the key witness. The private doctor who had always provided medical services to my family. Under the fists of a few thugs. He didn't hold out for long. He said that I had asked him to do it. To only give the reports to me. And to prepare 2 extra reports for each examination just in case. In addition, at my instruction, he had also prepared a special dietary plan for me. All this time, everything in the house was decided by you. Even what we ate for 3 meals a day was decided by you. You specifically cooked special meals for me. And I was very touched. I thought this was your love for me. But I never expected it to be not love at all, but a sword to kill me. I was so good to you. Why did you do this to me? Why? I roared, as if to vomit out the anger in my chest along with my internal organs. When did you two start? 10 years ago. Or in college? No. We were together even before I met you. She nodded. All of this was a plan. Ha 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 ha. I looked up to the sky and laughed. My brother. The woman I loved most. The 2 people I trusted most. Had planned all of this before they even knew me. They wanted to usurp my company. Seize my family's assets. And even made me raise their daughter. I'm sorry, Selena said, walking towards me and slowly kneeling before me. I'm sorry. Does I'm sorry work now? I glared at her. If the tide hadn't stuck to my hands and feet, I would have surely choked her and torn her to pieces. For so many years, I've lived in regret and worry. Every day filled with fear. Seeing how good you were to me, I truly regretted it. I even wished I would just die suddenly. Every night, relying on your embrace. I wanted to confess to you. To tell you the truth. Selena knelt on the ground, covering her face and weeping. But you didn't, I said, scoffing. The tide surged from all directions, inching up my neck. I felt a suffocating sensation. Difficulty breathing. It's come to this. Why did you even come to see me? This outcome is my retribution. Selena stood up, wiped her eyes, and walked to me. But I still have one important thing to do. She reached out and choked my neck. Hey. 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 I used all my strength to flip over the guardrail and fell onto the highway. Looking at the dilapidated wooden hut in front of me, I endured the severe pain and used my hands and feet to finally crawl over before losing consciousness again. When I woke up, I was lying on a bed, covered with a blanket. A disheveled man was squatting nearby, poking at the burning charcoal on the ground. Awake? The man looked back at me, then got up and brought me a bowl of ginger soup. Master. Don't. Just call me the stinky Taoist, he said, looking at me, his face a little better, and grinned, shamelessly patting his butt and sitting opposite me. Thank you. Thank what? He retorted. Thank you, Master, for saving my life, I said. Thanks? Ha 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 ha. He laughed. I didn't save you. Don't speak nonsense. It was Selena who woke you from your unconsciousness. Broke the car window. Escaped from the flooded car. And crawled all the way here. You came here yourself. I ate your food and let you see her 3 times. I repaid your kindness. Everything is cause and effect. Origin and cessation. Flowers blooming and fading. Misfortune and fortune intertwined. She saved me? I looked at my hands. Still a little disbelieving. Master. Am I still dreaming? Haha. Is it a dream? Don't you know yourself? He patted my shoulder. She deceived you for 10 years. You harmed her life. Now she saved your life. Dust to dust. Ashes to ashes. It's time to settle things. You should return what's mine to me. The Taoist reached out and grabbed something from the air. Holding an incense sachet in his hand. He gently blew on it. And the knot untied. A wisp of green smoke floated out. Spiraled a few times in front of me. And quickly vanished into the wind and rain. That's right. It was him. So he was here all along? The Taoist shook his head. I just temporarily kept it inside. She's still a wandering ghost now. Do I have any other way to see him again? It is said there is. But the patron has looked for so many people. Inquired everywhere. And tried every possible way to find a spirit. I don't think it's just to see her once. Is it? Seeing my silence. He continued. You've already seen that there's no way in this world to imprison a soul. There are only 2 paths, either continue to wander. Or rest in peace. The Taoist placed the incense sachet in my hand. The choice is entirely up to you. The Taoist smiled and walked out the door. Waving to the approaching ambulance with its sirens blaring. A few days later. I walked out of the hospital. The street was sunny. Bustling with people. Lively and vibrant. I went to the basement. The yellowish light cast a warm glow. I sat on a cardboard box. Smoking. Slowly surveying everything around me. I took a deep drag. Then exhaled it. The murky smoke carrying resentment pouring out of my chest. Disappearing without a trace. Relief. I thought. It's over. I laughed. Feeling a sense of release. And then lifted the red cloth. Looking at the woman submerged inside. Through the glass. I pressed my palm against hers. Goodbye. My love. A few days later. A new tombstone appeared in the cemetery. I looked at the smiling woman in the photo and gently placed a bouquet of lilies in front of the grave. A year later. She was finally laid to rest. Everything was over. I sat in front of the tombstone. Smiling foolishly like a child. Then. A phone call rudely interrupted me. Hello. Boss? We found that Taoist you were looking for. He's still quite scared and cooperative. Okay. Bring him over. And that body can be retrieved from the lake now. Yes. Boss. I stood up and quickly walked to another tombstone. Looking at the man in the photo. I pulled out my phone and made a call. Hey. Is that dietary plan I asked you to prepare ready? You have to guarantee that after eating it. He'll only become demented. Not die quickly. I still want to have some fun with him. Alright. See you tonight. Okay. She's gone. I said. Kicking open the lid of the tombstone and looking at the empty grave. A cold smile forming on my lips. So. You're next.